There are stories that live outside of time. Tales not written in books or remembered in songs, but carried in the silence between heartbeats. One of those stories is your name. You may think it was chosen by your parents. Maybe it came from a dream, a family tradition, a favorite movie, or a sacred book. But what if it was chosen long before that? What if your name was whispered under a moonlit sky, not in a hospital room, but in the quiet of the universe? Some believe that souls are called by vibration. That before we are born, we already carry a sound, a frequency that matches our essence. And that frequency reaches someone, a mother, a father, a midwife, even a stranger passing by, who becomes the vessel for its expression. Names are not simply words. They are echoes. And the moon, in her infinite silence, is one of the first to hear them. On the night you were named, the moon was watching. Her face, whether full or hidden, waxing or waning, was casting its light, or its shadow, across the earth. And that light touched you. It marked the tone of your beginning. In many spiritual traditions, the moon governs birth, memory, and identity. It rules over water, the same water that carried you in the womb. It pulls the tides and our emotions with equal strength. To be born is to arrive on the earth with a specific cosmic rhythm. The moon, like a great mother, welcomes each child with a silent blessing, a pulse of light, a breath of intuition. And perhaps, she whispered your name that night. Not in language, but in feeling. Not in letters, but in energy. Your parents may have said, "It just felt right. We knew the name before we even saw you. It came to us in a dream." But beneath those words was the echo of the moon's voice. A lunar memory surfacing at just the right moment, aligning your soul with a sound. Some names carry strength. Others, softness. Some vibrate like thunder, others hum like wind through leaves. Each one carries a weight, a story, a spell. In ancient mysticism, it's said that the moon doesn't choose randomly. She listens. She waits. And when the time comes, she aligns light, breath, and sound. And sends a name to the world. So if you've ever wondered why your name feels right, why you resist nicknames, or why you're drawn to a certain sound, if you've ever felt that your name holds something more, you're not imagining it. You're remembering it. Do you know the story behind your name? Ask someone who was there. Or ask the moon. And if you've ever felt your name carries a deeper meaning, leave your report in the comments. Let's see how many of us remember what cannot be explained. To understand how the moon may have shaped the sound of your name, we must first return to the night you were born. Not the hospital, not the candles, not the hands that caught you. But the sky. What phase was the moon in when you arrived? Was she full and bold, casting silver shadows across rooftops? Was she new, invisible yet powerful, whispering from behind the dark? Or perhaps she was waxing, growing stronger, or waning, gently fading? Each phase of the moon carries its own frequency. Each one pulses with intention. And those energies, like unseen tides, have been studied, honored, and feared by mystics for thousands of years. Let's explore them, not just as celestial phenomena, but as spiritual imprints that may have influenced the very vibration of the name you were given. New moon, the hidden seed. If you were born under a new moon, your arrival was veiled in mystery. This phase is the beginning, the moment when the moon disappears from the sky, resting in complete shadow. Those born during this time are often quiet initiators, souls who move from intuition, who feel more than they speak, and who carry the energy of possibility. Names given during this phase often carry soft beginnings, smooth sounds, open vowels, subtle grace. They are names that feel like whispers. In many traditions, the new moon is when the soul is still connected to the other side. Naming a child during this phase is like catching a name mid-flight, as if it hadn't yet landed fully on Earth. Waxing moon, the growing light. If you were born while the moon was waxing, growing brighter each night, your soul came into the world amidst momentum and intention. This is the phase of movement, of hope, of steps toward fulfillment. Names chosen under the waxing moon tend to carry upward energy. They feel like they are going somewhere. They often have strong consonants, active syllables, and a sense of aspiration in their sound. These names might echo drive, growth, or awakening. They are names of those who carry a mission. Full moon, the illuminated soul. To be born under a full moon is to arrive in the spotlight of the cosmos. It is the moment of fullness, revelation, and emotional truth. Souls born under this light are often intense, radiant, and deeply intuitive. Names given at this time may reflect grandeur, emotion, or destiny. They may sound poetic, powerful, unforgettable. The full moon is known for stirring tides and hearts alike. Naming a child during this time is often described as inevitable, as if the name arrived fully formed, undeniable, demanding to be spoken. Some say that people born under the full moon are not just named, they are claimed. Waning moon, the sacred release. Those born as the moon begins to fade carry an older kind of wisdom. The waning moon is about letting go, reflection, surrender. Names given during this phase often carry melancholic beauty, soft consonants, lingering sounds, and spiritual undertones. These are the names of old souls, of watchers, of healers. To name a child under the waning moon is to name them with memory, not of what is beginning, but of what has already been understood. Now pause for a moment. Do you know what the moon looked like on the day you were born? You can look it up. But you can also feel it. Think about your name. Its sound. The way it feels in your mouth when you say it. Does it carry softness? Fire? Silence? Weight? Could it be that your name carries not just your parents' hopes, but the vibration of the sky that welcomed you? In Buddhist and esoteric traditions, birth is not random. It is timed. Even your arrival, and the name that came with it, may have been guided by lunar rhythm. The moon does not speak in words. But sometimes, when we're quiet enough, we can hear her, in our name. Do you know which phase the moon was in when you were born? Share it in the comments, or describe how your name feels to you. Maybe together, we'll uncover the patterns the moon left behind. Let me tell you a story. It begins in silence, the kind that only exists just after midnight, when the world is still and the sky listens closely. In a small coastal village, where the sea speaks in whispers and the stars hang heavy with memory, a woman named Lucia stood alone on her porch. She was 8 months pregnant and restless, feeling the child move inside her like tides pulled by something ancient. That night, the full moon rose earlier than usual. It was vast, orange at the edges, silver at the center, a glowing sentinel watching from the heavens. Lucia wrapped a shawl around her shoulders and stepped out barefoot into the garden, eyes fixed on the sky. She didn't know yet what the name of her child would be. She and her partner had argued endlessly, scrolling through lists, flipping through books. Nothing felt right. Every name they tried seemed empty, disconnected. But that night, under the weight of the moon's gaze, something shifted. The wind picked up. The sea grew louder. And deep within her, a single word rose, not from the mind, but from the soul. Selena. It came uninvited. Gentle. Whole. Familiar. Lucia didn't question it. She whispered it to herself, again and again, as if remembering instead of choosing. Selena. 9 nights later, under a waning moon, the child was born. Calm. Quiet-eyed. With a gaze that seemed older than time. When the midwife asked the name, Lucia didn't hesitate. Her name is Selena. The moon gave it to me. Years passed. Selena grew into her name. She was always drawn to water, to light, to rhythm. She painted circles, hummed songs in languages no one had taught her, and often sat by the sea as if waiting for someone to speak. She didn't know the story of how she was named until she was 17. One night, after a heartbreak she couldn't explain, Selena wandered outside under a full moon. Her mother, now grayer, followed her and told her everything. You didn't come from a name book, Lucia said. You came from the sky. Selena wept. Not from sadness, but from remembering. Some part of her had always known. The name wasn't just hers. It was a message, a mantra, a rhythm that matched her soul. Maybe your name has a story like that too. Maybe it came in a dream. Or maybe someone close to you said, I don't know why, but this just feels right. Maybe they weren't choosing, maybe they were listening. In many esoteric traditions, names are believed to be encoded with memory, carrying sounds from other lifetimes, other realms. The right name doesn't just identify you. It resonates with you. It wakes something up. Selena's story is not uncommon. The world is full of people walking around with names that weren't planned, but arrived. And when they hear the story behind them, or speak their name aloud in silence, something clicks into place. Not every name is given. Some are received. So tonight, under whatever moon lights your sky, say your name aloud. Not as a label, but as a sound. Not with explanation, but with reverence. Feel where it lands in your body. Feel if it opens something, or if it calls something home. And if there's pain in your name, if it carries weight or wounds, know this. You have the power to reclaim it. To infuse it with new energy, with intention, with light. A name is not a sentence. It's a song. And songs can be rewritten, retuned, reborn. Do you know how your name came to be? If there's a story, a whisper, a dream, share it in the comments. Your story might help someone else remember their own. Long before words were written, they were sung. Before names were carved into stone or inked on paper, they were carried in breath, in sound, in vibration. The moon knows this. She does not speak with a tongue, but she communicates in waves, light waves, tidal rhythms, pulses of silence. And those who listen, truly listen, begin to hear the world not in sentences, but in frequencies. Your name is one such frequency. Not just a word, but a vibrational signature. A note you've been playing since the moment you arrived on Earth. Every letter holds energy. Mystics and sound healers across traditions, from the ancient Hebrews to the Vedic sages, believe that letters themselves carry spiritual force. They are not arbitrary symbols. They are containers of intention. Say your name out loud. Slowly. Feel where the sounds land in your body. Does the first syllable hit the chest, the throat, the belly? Does it rise like wind or ground you like stone? Is it soft and flowing? Or sharp and sparking? Each phoneme, each unit of sound, is like a tuning fork. Together, they form a resonance that affects how you think, how you feel, and even how others experience your presence. The moon, in her quiet wisdom, understands sound not as noise, but as light in motion. Moonlight and mantra. In Eastern traditions, especially within Tantric Buddhism and Hindu mysticism, mantras are sacred sounds designed to align the soul with divine truth. But here's the secret. Your own name can be a personal mantra, a sound gifted to you by the cosmos to help you return to your essence. Especially when spoken under the moonlight, your name becomes a mirror. A way of hearing your own soul echoed back through space. Some healers encourage saying your name aloud under different moon phases. Under the new moon, as a declaration of intention. Under the waxing moon, to invoke growth. Under the full moon, as a celebration of being. Under the waning moon, for reflection and release. Try it. It may feel strange at first. But then, it may feel right. Hidden meaning in sound. Beyond symbolism, sound itself is energy. Each letter, each rhythm, carries archetypal qualities. Names heavy in L, M, or N often feel nurturing, soft, lunar. Names with K, T, or Z tend to cut through space, active, electric, solar. Repeated vowels like A or O may carry openness or roundness of spirit. Ending in a breathy consonant, like H, S, or TH, suggests gentleness, subtle presence. In this way, a name becomes a poem written by the stars, delivered through the voice of the moon. Perhaps this is why some names linger in memory long after we've forgotten the face. They don't just enter the ear, they enter the field. And the moon, being the keeper of emotion and memory, holds them there like lullabies in orbit. You are spoken into being. There's a beautiful belief shared in several mystical traditions. We are not born fully formed, we are spoken into being. And the first word spoken about you, often, is your name. Imagine, then, if that word was chosen by more than human minds. If the moonlight that touched your mother's skin, or the dream your father had days before, or the quiet thought that refused to leave, was not random, but lunar. Imagine that your name was the moon's way of speaking you into this world. Not just a label, but a sacred sound, chosen by the sky, delivered through love. When was the last time you said your own name out loud, not with judgment, but with reverence? Try it tonight. Whisper it under the moon, and feel how it lands. If a sound or letter in your name feels powerful to you, share it in the comments. Let's listen to the vibrations we carry. There are no accidents in the language of the soul. Only signs, symbols, echoes. And your name is one of them. You may have gone your whole life thinking your name was just a choice, made quickly, or randomly, or even casually. But perhaps it was more than that. Perhaps it was an agreement. A sound waiting to be spoken. A note searching for a voice. And the moon, in her ancient silence, helped guide it into form. The night your name found you. Somewhere between your last breath in another world and your first cry in this one, the sky rearranged itself. Planets shifted. The moon turned her face toward the earth. And the world made room for you. On that night, whether dark or bright, a frequency was chosen. A vibration. A name. Not one to contain you, but to awaken you. And though it may have passed through the lips of a mother, a grandmother, a doctor, or a stranger, the name was not theirs. It was already yours. Reclaiming the sacred sound. If your name has been mocked, shortened, mispronounced, forgotten, if it has carried pain, or felt like something you never chose, know this. You still have the power to claim it, to bless it, to let it become sacred again. Your name is not just how others call you. It's how the universe called you into existence. So speak it softly. Speak it boldly. Speak it with the knowledge that somewhere, perhaps beyond the clouds, the moon is still listening. And she recognizes the sound. You are part of a pattern. Your name is one of billions, and yet, it is utterly unique in its resonance. It forms part of a greater design. A cosmic rhythm. A field of sound. A lunar map drawn not with stars, but with syllables. The way your name interacts with others is not unlike how tides pull on shores, or how starlight travels through galaxies. There is something sacred in the syllables we live with. They shape our steps. They hold our tears. They carry our dreams. And if your name still feels incomplete, if it feels like it holds a door you haven't yet opened, then maybe now is the time to remember, to reclaim, to rise into the meaning that has always been waiting. What now? Now that you've seen your name through a different lens, you may feel something stir, a question, a memory, a longing. Don't push it away. Let it rise. Write your name. Say it aloud. Ask your family about the moment it was chosen. Sit with the moon. Ask her what she remembers. Let your name become your ritual, your prayer, your anchor. Not because it limits you, but because it reminds you of who you've always been, and who you're still becoming. If this journey touched something in you, don't let it fade. Share your first name in the comments, or tell us how it came to be. And if you've ever felt that your name holds a secret meaning, Maybe this is your sign to finally unlock it. Because you were not named by accident. You were named by resonance.